Hello, beautiful soul. Welcome back to our channel. You are Unconditional Love. And in today's video, we're gonna start to talk about sex, sexual energy, and the deeper intention behind sexual energy. So we're gonna start to talk about the normal sex, normal, the one that you know, and normal sexual energy, as well the higher perspective of sex, and how the intention can shape your whole reality, whether you are single or whether you are in a relationship. Because the real purpose of sex, and this is I always love to share, is not about actually sex. I'm speaking about sexual energy. It's like 95% of the sexual energy is not made for sex. It made for a really higher purpose. And this is what we're gonna share in this video together, because yesterday we had a deeper experience and we love to share our experience with you, so as well you get more insight and you get more to get to know us and to get to know our journey as well, because it's gonna help you as well to evolve. This is why we felt called to share this video together, to speak about sexual energy, the deeper purpose of it from a really, really higher perspective.
Thank you. I love this topic, and even if it's going to be a little bit private, a little bit later, um, we are happy to bring it to you because we think it's very, very important to also speak openly about these topics. First of all, Ahmed mentioned the 95% of the sexual energies for different reasons. I'm going to touch this topic before we get into our actual story because, at least to me, the sexual energy has two main purposes. One of them is the purpose of creation. Sexual energy is in the second chakra stored, which is for us as women, our womb. And this is where the birth is being given. The birth to children, as well as the birth to projects and to your creativity and to your purpose in the world. About womb and trauma, I'm going to be talking a little bit later in the video once we are going to touch a little bit more personal topics. But the second purpose of sexual energy to me and also from the old teachings is to raise the consciousness with awareness, as well as when you work with the sexual energy, which is basically the energy stored here down. As it opens up the channel and the other chakras, it can help you to release the other blocks. It can help you to release guilt, shame, feelings of not enoughness, anger, sadness, pain, not speaking the truth, being afraid to speak the truth, and to open your consciousness and to open your maybe specific senses that you might have.
This is why sexual energy is so powerful, and it's one of the most higher vibration energy of this universe. And if you use it from a higher perspective, higher purpose, it will raise you up. It will help you to ascend higher. It will help you to release, like Ludmila said, your guilt, shame, rejection, all the low frequency emotion if you use it from a higher perspective, which we made this video about, because some of the people there are using sexual energy from lust, whatever you feel like called to, this sexual energy just pulls through your body, so you feel like, I'm having a lot of energy, I'm gonna maybe just, like, let's say masturbate or have sex or just go wasted from a place of lust, not from a place of a higher perspective. I'm not saying that not to have this. I'm saying that to have it from a place of a higher frequency, from a place of loving yourself, from a place of connecting with your partner, from a place of love, not from a place of lust. Because if this energy came from a place of lust, it always attract low frequency entity, which cause you as well drain, which cause you problem in the relationship, which even cause you problem with yourself if you are single, all of that. When you are using the sexual energy from a place of creativity and you know how to channel it upward, which we're gonna as well speak about this in the video, to know how to channel this frequency, this energy up to a higher chakra and ascend it and use it for a higher purpose. This is where you're gonna start to literally connect to yourself more, love yourself more, ascend more, and reaching really, like to say, higher consciousness more.
Mm-hmm. And I would like to touch the topic of women because many of the people who are watching this video are actually women. And if you are a man, it might be also interesting for you to see the perspective of what is happening in the feminine body because oftentimes, especially when we are on a spiritual awakening journey, I don't think that men have bad intentions, even if they come from desire, from lust. But the lack of knowledge and understanding can actually cause a lot of blockages, and also the woman's lack of knowledge about her womb and about her feminine power can contribute to not moving forwards in the ideal way, I would say. So what I'm touching right now is that if you are a woman and if you are really allowing men to, not even talking about having like multiple sexual encounters that are not really in alignment with you, but even talking about the the sexual encounter that you might be having with your partner both ways, if it's not coming from full alignment, if it's not really coming from some higher intention, and if it's coming really from lower intention of lust or pressure or people pleasing or holding, as we are used to as women, it can really block your sexual energy. For us as women, and I don't want to get too much into explanation of the chakras, but it's being said that the chakra number 2, 4, and 6 are very important for women because chakra number 2 represents the creation, the sexual energy, the creativity, the life. Chakra number 4 is the heart, and chakra number 6 is intuition and the third eye and the different senses that we might have open. So it is very important for us as a woman to take care of our womb. As I mentioned, I'm going to touch the topic of the trauma that we might have stored there a little bit later, but it is very important for you as a woman not to allow to have sex when you don't feel like, because you might be unconscious, your partner or your sexual people who you have sex might be unconscious about it, but you might be losing your power and you might be creating more trauma and blocking yourself from accessing not just higher consciousness, but even the creativity and the life force and sparkle of life. If you allow the encounter, the sexual encounter, from the energy that is not fully in alignment with your soul, and this is how you basically became quite often weaker and without life and really depleted.
Exactly, and I would like to share that as well because this is actually what I'm teaching in my course called the Heart Orgasm, which you can find on my website, all about sexual energy and Kundalini energy. The the sex when it comes from a place of alignment and higher purpose for women is, let's speak now. I'm gonna speak just openly about this topic, and there is no shame, no guilt. It's something really so sacred, which is when women start to feel safe with a man because man is coming from a pure intention, from a place not of lust, from a place of connection and love and reaching higher consciousness. This is what happened between us. Yesterday we were discussing about that, and we will share this story as well. So in order for this to help you as well, for women, when there is three type of orgasm I know, which is, I can say, clitoris, G-spot, and the cervix. And the most important is that women have this internal orgasm, which unlock her potential to reach higher consciousness, not having external orgasm, which is coming from a place of lust and just the energy can be drained. As well for man, this is, I'm now speaking from a higher perspective of sex, which is when between couple or between partners, and man, this is gonna be triggery and so hard to say that to not ejaculate and to learn how to have internal orgasm and lifting the energy up to a higher chakra, which is gonna bring you awareness and help you to reach higher and higher. So always, if you see that normal sex between couple is someone like man always just give away the energy, and woman as well, maybe most of, like, I just what I encountered, like 90% of women have only external orgasm, don't know what is internal orgasm because of the trauma and the pain and the intention of sex actually that their partner is coming from, or their past trauma as well. So it's so important to have this internal orgasm for man and woman and channel this energy, like internal up to a higher chakra for the man and woman. And this is where you gonna literally feel the energetic pleasure from a love, not from lust, and feel the connection with the divine.
Love that. And now I would like to touch the topic of trauma because that's a very, very common thing for us women, and it's also great for men that are listening to this video or watching this video to understand what's going on. I have experienced a lot of sexual trauma. Not that I wasn't raped or nothing like that, but I would be the people pleaser. I would be the woman that would open up so that I do my duty because the man would be better forceful, or he wouldn't be forceful, but he would be sad that our sexual connection is not working. So I had different types of the relationships in the past, and whatever was my pattern, I would basically open up my body, which causing myself more trauma, and also a lot of misunderstanding of my own sexuality, of my own power in the most positive way, and of what this space is actually for. As a woman coming from Eastern Europe, you know, my ancestors has experienced a lot of after-generational trauma where the woman went through, after-war trauma and so on, when women were through being raped, losing their children, through a lot of abortions, through seeing a lot of things that were very, very heavy. Many women were really sexually abused. We are holding, and it's not just in my part of the world, but this is basically happening anywhere, and many of you might not even be aware that you are holding this generational trauma. Not even talking about the past life things that we are also carrying there. You don't really know what happened in your past life, but everything what happened in the past life is basically in our system, because everything is basically happening now. So our ovaries, our feminine parts are really, really holding this trauma. And I would like to speak about something that some of you might be encountering as well. If you're in the spiritual development, many men like to say, there is something wrong with you, why you don't want to have sex with me, or you might have some trauma. I am not neglecting, or I'm not saying to women not to clear their womb and not to work on their trauma. But also, dear women, don't get fooled when men tell you you have trauma and this is why you don't want to have sex with me.
Exactly.
Quite often, our body and our womb is so wise that the reason why the sexual energy is not being built in our system is the wisdom of our body, because the man and his intention is not safe. Of course, the more trauma you release, the more safer environment you are going to attract and the safer men. But as long as you are still in some healing process and you are attracting unhealthy experiences, it is very important for you to create certain barrier while you are working on your trauma and while you are doing your deep inner work, so that you can protect yourself from being misused. And especially in the spiritual environment, really, I have heard this plenty of times, there is something wrong with me. While the truth was, which I understood a little bit later, that yes, I had a trauma, which was part of the story, as well as my body was so wise that my sexual energy didn't get switched on unless it was from higher purpose, or at least like medium purpose. But I was really, the wisdom of my body was neglecting anything that was from energy of I want to use my woman for my own pleasure.
Let's speak about now our own experience,
Experience.
because it's gonna, let's share it, because we didn't really like come together for long time, and because we both are following the energy and we focus on ourselves and our and us as well, and we were going through our own process. And we were talking yesterday, and I was saying to Ludmila, and she was saying to me, you know, I feel like it's time to connect. And I'm sorry, I'm just sharing like really some private topic, but I feel like it's gonna help you as well to understand how energy work. And she was telling me, I feel like we should connect. And I told her, yeah, but I don't feel it's still like sexually need. I want to connect. And she said as well, I don't feel why as well. After that, I closed my eyes and some channel came through me.
But give me a second,
Yeah.
we will give them the introduction into our sexual life very
Yes. Okay.
briefly, and then the channeling comes through. So basically, when we got together at the beginning of the relationship, the sexual energy was high. As long as we started to feel like really safe with each other, we started to have sexual encounters, the love making quite often. But then we came through a period of challenges where some of our things had to come into our surface towards the end of 2025, which has been like super challenging year for us. But then as we went through the challenges, the situation got calmed down, and we realized that even if we don't have these misalignment layers between us, because our relationship is really peaceful and harmonious and beautiful right now, and we are like not having these turbulences that were happening throughout the end of last year, there is still something that is not like fully allowing us to get into
Yes.
that. And then yesterday's channeling happened.
So what's happening yesterday is that we still feel like we healed the loss, we healed everything that's coming from our old self, and the energy don't want to connect us together. And yesterday I just closed my eyes and the energy started to flow through me, deep channeling, which is the sexual energy now is not meant to be come from the old self. It doesn't meant to come from the part that is coming from a low frequency. The sexual energy is here not for pleasure mainly. Yeah, it's for pleasure, yeah, but it's not the first purpose. The first purpose is for ascension and higher consciousness and reaching to higher state of being. And when I say that, suddenly my sexual energy open and
Yeah.
her open and we connect together, and it was one of the beautiful moments we had together. And then we realized that actually when we connect this way, it helped us as well to connect more deeper and deeper, and sex becoming more pleasurable and pleasurable, not like normal sex, casual sex between couple, which is they come together, they had sex a lot, and then they don't have, and then the sexual life start to become separate until it fully become zero. And this is the normal couple these days. But the new earth, I will say now, the new earth template for sex, each like is the sex is always gonna be pleasurable every time you had sex with your partner, which is gonna put you at higher place, higher place, higher place, and it's gonna be more pleasurable and more pleasurable. Like today, even we wake up with like I feel connected to you
Yeah.
more, like not like before, and it was so
Yeah.
beautiful. And it's so important to take sex from higher consciousness and not from a place of, like I say, lower consciousness lust. And always sex is gonna be more pleasurable and gonna connect you more with your partner more and more and more each time you take it from a higher
Mhm.
consciousness.
And I would like, it's kind of like coming to me that I would split it in three categories how I see personally the sexual life in the relationship. The lowest category is a woman that doesn't know her value, she doesn't know her boundaries, and she just opens up. You know, that's where many of the women nowadays might be, but many of you guys who have been really watching this channel have moved from that, right? And now you might be in the second or third category, where the second category to me is like, I'm having the sex only when I feel connected to my partner. I'm not abusing myself. I'm not giving myself for free. I need the connection with my partner, which is already amazing stage, and which is where I have been in a relationship with Ahmed. So this relationship was never based on like the bottom level of like the lust and desire and these kind of things itself or the wounds, but we have been, I would say, in that second category where we were not literally following the third category, which is the consciousness, the expansion, and the vision creating, or the creating the better life and the better reality. But we were coming from the second category, which was basically we both felt aligned to have sex. The sexual energy was kind of like moving. But then recently we started to experience really that we don't have the disconnection layers, we don't have arguments, we don't have issues between each other, but we still have the situation when one of us is turned on and the other one is not. And then one of us is turned on and the other one is not. And then we were like, okay, so I feel being called to you today, you feel being called to me the other day. So the disconnection layers were not there, but there was still not at the same time the sexual energy rising. So yesterday in the evening we were like, first he wanted, then I wanted, and we were like playing this game like right, left, and we were like, what the heck is happening? And then he was like, boom. And because we are in a nature, we're in a beautiful place, we are really deeply connected here, his channeling came. The moment his channeling came, this beautiful part of my body started to be so activated. He got activated, and the encounter was beautiful. And it was not the craziness, it was like deep soul connection, because the more you are working with the subtle layers of energy, the less physical friction and the less physical things you need. And you are basically moving the energy just through your intention and through two souls kind of like dancing together.
Exactly. This is the beauty of sexual energy, which is a higher energy, higher frequency of creation, and when you use it for a higher purpose, it's gonna change your whole life. It's literally gonna
Yeah.
change your whole life.
And I feel it would be great in a bit if you mention something about your course,
Yeah,
but I feel sharing something about 2 to 1.
yeah,
We are
first.
offering 2 to 1 as well. And if this is your topic, if you feel you might be having certain experiencing certain situations, having some repeating patterns, trauma or something like that, and you would like to work on that, feel free to contact us. We really provide for you safe space where you can get a session. It's 75-minute session
Yeah,
where we can really deeply dive into the root causes, into understanding, and as long as you get the lesson, the understanding and the root cause, then we are going to help you to clear out the energy so that you can start experiencing having fully different reality. And this is not only about improving your sexual life. Your not in ideal sexual life might be affecting many other areas of your life. So it's basically about improving the reality you currently live in.
exactly. And as well, our 2-to-1 retreat here in Bali, in this beautiful place. We are here in Sediment right now in Bali, which we are holding a space for you. Here, 2-to-1, you just feel, if you feel cold, you can, we always organize it based on your schedule and our free schedule. And as well, if you are watching this video in January 2026, we are having a retreat in May 2026 as well in Egypt, which is called Remember Your Ancient Wisdom, which is gonna be activation, all the activation that you need from ancient Egypt. Like we always say this, Egypt is always having some parts, ancient Egypt has some parts inside of us that need to be activated to activate your
Mhm.
true self, let's say. And this is why we made this retreat. So we go to the places that have activation and we do the energy work and great work there and activation. As well, my course, which is the Heart Orgasm, which has everything about sexual energy, as well how for this course is for men and women. I designed it for both. You're gonna find there all the videos and exercises are gonna help you to master your sexual energy and learn how to use it for manifestation, for healing, for ascension, for even connecting to your higher self. All of that you're gonna find in the course. All of that you're gonna find in the description below this video. So yeah, that's it.
I think that's all from our side. If you feel like commenting something below, we would be really happy to see your comments. As well as we would like to ask you always when you comment, please try to be respectful. We are not forcing our perspective to anyone, so please try to be respectful with how that conversation. But I'm always wondering to see other people's perspective on the sexual energy, on the sexual life, their takeaways, their understandings, because this is how we can enrich each other. It's not only the two of us sharing, but it's also something that you can give to each other through sharing your perspective and so on.
Exactly.
Yeah, so thank you so much. If you feel like sharing this video, we would be very, very happy and have a beautiful day.
Thank you.